Good morning, everyone. We hope you enjoyed yesterday's sessions and are feeling inspired and ready for day 2 of Realtion Expo 2025. My name is Despina, and I'm delighted to welcome you back to the Speakers Forum for another day of insights, ideas, and industry expertise. To kick things off, we are starting strong with a panel featuring some of the island's leading real estate voices. Together, they deliver a data-driven analysis of the 2025 Cyprus real estate market. Please join me in welcoming our moderator, Ms. Anna Haralambos, Director of Robura Management. Anna, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our session. It's the first session of the day, so I hope you enjoy it. The theme is From British Pensioner to Branded Residences, Insight from Industry Leaders on Geopolitics, Innovation and Housing. Today we're driving into forces shaping Cyprus' vibrant real estate market. We'll explore how geopolitics, from trade tension to wealth migration, influence buyer behavior, and how innovation like sustainable design and PropTech are redefining housing. Our esteemed panel of industry leaders will share their insights on navigating these trends to unlock opportunities in one of the Mediterranean's hottest markets. Let's get started. Our first panelist, it's our honor to be here. His name is tightly connected to the real estate market. Mr. Leptos, welcome. Co-president of Leptos Group, Cyprus' leading property developer with over 6 decades of transforming impact. Under his leadership, the Leptos Group has delivered visionary projects like Limassol Del Mar and Limassol Blue Marine. A pioneer in real estate, hospitality, and education, Mr. Leptos has navigated geopolitical shifts to attract global investors. Mr. Leptos, welcome. We're looking forward to hearing from you.
Thank you. Great to be here. Very nice for me to see a huge real estate event in Cyprus. I always believed in the future of real estate in Cyprus, and very happy to be here. You asked about the transformation in the marketing from British to what we have today. And indeed, what a transformation. 40 years ago, a marketing manager of a Cyprus real estate company had to go to England, make a roadshow every night in different hotel, in different city, see 5 clients, 3 boats, and that was international marketing. We didn't care what was happening in America or Russia or China. Today, any marketing manager has to know about employment globally, growth of economies globally, what happened in Israel or Canada or Shanghai or India yesterday, what's happening now. You have to look to plan your way forward. So I'm saying this because real estate was also transformed. It used to be a very localized market. We used to sell holiday homes to the British, and then came the internet. It meant people could work from Cyprus. They didn't really want to, but they could. So we got an additional clientele. Then came the COVID, then came the war. A lot of people can live and work remotely, so Cyprus is nice, and there is a real boom. We see a transformation in the marketability of the properties. I witness that there is a globalization of the market, in the sense that the 2-bedroom seafront in a high-rise in Limassol has to have some relationship with the price of a 2-bedroom seafront in Panama or the Lebanon or Israel or Dubai. So it's a kind of a global market. The demand is kind of global. Now, if in the rest of the world the 2-bedroom apartments is 120 meters, they would expect a 120-meter apartment here. Del Mar was the first one to do so. They thought we were crazy. They didn't understand why our 2-bedroom apartments was not 67 meters like the traditional Cyprus 2-bedroom apartments. We could squeeze 2 apartments into the space of 1, but we thought no, because the demand is global and we must offer a global project if we have an aspiration to attract global prices. So Cyprus properties is changing, and our projects is changing. We're doing gated, more secure. We're doing fully loaded projects with a lot of facilities, clubhouses, tennis courts, swimming pools, etc. And there's a lot of lifestyle that goes now into the projects. And I think this will continue. We are planning, and first time I say about this, the last remaining tower of the Blue Marine is going to be a branded residential project. It's not a tourist brand like the others you've seen in Cyprus. It's purely residential. It's your flat. You do whatever you want with it. So I see this globally. It didn't come yet in such a way in Cyprus. I see a lot of that coming. And I believe that Cyprus is beginning to do its catching up. I always had the opinion that Cyprus was left behind. I compare Cyprus with other ex-colonies like Singapore and Dubai. I have measured population around them. Cyprus is number one. In 1.5 hour flight from Cyprus, we have 290 million people. Singapore has 120. Dubai has less, 110. But they made it and it didn't. And back in '73, we had roughly the same GDP. And today, Cyprus has roughly 35 million, and the other two have about 500 billion GDP, 14 times more. So is this normal? No, it's not. Why it happened is a topic of another discussion that perhaps we couldn't or we didn't want, but now we can and we want. So this gap has to be bridged. And by bridging the gap, Cyprus is already becoming an international business center. We have seen in many sectors of the economy the international investments in hotels, in casino, in hospitals, in shopping malls, in supermarkets, in our banks, and many other sectors that they're not controlled any longer by the Cypriots. Basically, everything that could be sold has been sold. And so international players which enter the market, they have deeper pockets, they have access to finance. And I think that the future of Cyprus real estate is very bright. I will come back to some of my points, not to monopolize.
Thank you, Mr. Leptos. To stay on time, let me allow me to introduce our panelists. We have a longtime friend, Pavlos Loizou, CEO and co-founder of Asquire, an innovative real estate data analytics company redefining how real estate professionals, investors, and institutions access and interpret property intelligence. With over 20 years of experience across Europe, Pavlos has shaped real estate strategies for major banking institutions, managing billions in assets. Welcome, Pavlos. It's nice to have you here.
Pleasure. I don't know if you would like me to make a similar statement.
You could.
Sure. So, look, for us, it's. I agree with Mr. Leptos about how the market has evolved. Effectively, what we are going through is what is called lifestyle arbitrage. Basically, you move your job, you move somewhere else, but you keep your job where it was before. So you work in Cyprus, but you're paid a UK salary. That's all there is. Plus, combined with the tax incentives and everything else, you end up with more money in your pocket every month, which means, by extent, you spend more. It's a very simplistic way of putting it, but that's what's happening. Again, I would agree with Mr. Leptos in the statement that a lot of the stuff that was to be sold in Cyprus has been sold. You have the airports that have been sold. Epic belongs to a Russian who lives in Monaco. PrimeTel, it went bust, but it belonged to a Russian. Now I think it's Israelis. The airports are from Dubai, so you sort of begin to wonder. Now, the question when you have this arbitrage being created is that effectively it's like, and this is not a very good bottle of water, but effectively what happens is that you have these shifts, this bubble going left and right. Not bubble in terms of real estate, because Mr. Bandelis will kick me afterwards. But a bubble in terms of, as this money is sloshing around, it creates instabilities. And this is what we are seeing in Cyprus. We have a gap being created between the locals who are where they were, especially those over 50 or over 60 who have fallen behind, and the younger ones, let's say, who are 20, 25 years old that are catching this boom, perhaps both paying or benefiting for the wrong reasons. So the older ones are losing out because they haven't upskilled themselves, they haven't kept up with the times. And the younger ones, frankly, because they're at the right place at the right time, they are benefiting by being overpaid, in my view. Now, in this environment where the economy is changing, employment is changing, I'm talking locally here, what we are seeing is that the real estate market and the real estate data, to bring that into play, is playing a more important role. Why? Because the European Union has saw the light. There is what is called the EU Open Data Directive that forces governments to open their databases to third parties. Right? So that's why you have the land registry in Cyprus. You can go find your data, click on it, and get things extracted. There's also the Data Governance Directive, which just passed a few months ago, which we have not implemented as a country, but which would force governments to disseminate that data. So you will be able to go to the government, to this body, and say, I want this data, and they need to make it available to you. Right? So this is coming. It's already in place in Greece. So what we are seeing is that data and data availability is becoming more prominent. In turn, as Mr. Leptos says, investors are coming from overseas. The market is 40, 50% transaction volume being done from overseas. Overseas clients are also the ones who have the most money to spend, most investment. So at that point, what you have is the need for more data, more analytics, more insights, and that's where we see how we see the market evolving across Southeastern Europe and indeed across the market where international money is at play. And this is how we see things progressing, both in terms of agents, valuers, developers needing that data for themselves to make decisions, but then on the other side, using that data to attract clients, to show to them that, look, I can add value to you because I have access to this, I know the market, have deep insights, which is sort of that's what we see happen.
Thank you, Pavlos. I think transparency data will help the market grow and will give the confidence to more international investors to come to our country. So I totally agree with you. Let's welcome Mr. Simos Similidis, Commercial Director of Orpaphilia, Cyprus' largest privately owned residential developer. With more than two decades at Paphilia, Simos has driven the company's market leadership, overseeing prestigious projects like One and Neo. Mr. Similidis is here to share with us insights on shaping Cyprus's dynamic property landscape. Welcome, Simos. It's our pleasure to have you with us.
Thank you very much. It's really nice to be back to Realty On. We had a very good experience last year, and I'm happy to see new faces and also old acquaintances coming back. I share the comments that Mr. Leptos and Pavlos voiced about their optimistic overview of the Cyprus real estate market. And indeed, in my 2 decades of experience, I have witnessed all aspects how the real estate has first established itself here in Cyprus, and we still have a long way to go. Cyprus has nothing to be jealous of. Destinations like Dubai or Singapore or other major hubs for real estate innovation and sales. I believe Cyprus has the potential to even surpass those destinations, and the future years in Cyprus are going to play a very important role in achieving that, because now it's our chance. Now, as Mr. Leptos said, we can and we want, and I would also add we must as well. Here in Paphilia, we are very happy to be part of this transformation of taking the Cyprus real estate market into the direction that we believe it's important for Cyprus, and we are doing this with two of our flagship developments, Mintis and Neo, two very distinct and unique and different projects, but both capture the direction that the Cyprus real estate market is heading. Let me just start with a brief introduction about Mintis, which is a sustainable luxury resort located in the Paphos wine-producing region. And this development is focusing on a new kind of client, the kind of client that values wellness, being in a close proximity to nature, being part of a community with same-minded people enjoying cultural experiences and being part of a unique community. In Mintis, we are going beyond building just beautiful houses, but creating a holistic lifestyle way of life. And we believe that this is one major trend that will become more and more relevant as time goes by. People are moving away from just buying a house, and they wish to be part of a community, enjoying a lot of facilities and services. Neo, on the other hand, it's, I see it as the future of integrated and sustainable mixed-use urban developments. Neo, it's located on the seafront of Limassol, and it will feature hotel-branded services, hotel-branded residences, a luxury hotel, office tower, retail, dining, conference facilities, and it's aimed towards the modern type of urban buyers or busy business people or global citizens that wish to be part of a thriving community which offers convenience, which offers connectivity, which offers cultural experiences, all coexisting harmoniously. We're very happy to be part of this transformation of the real estate market in Cyprus, and we haven't seen nothing yet. Thank you.
Thank you, Simos. I think it's important to have you on board on this transformation because you said before that Cyprus has nothing to be jealous of the other jurisdictions that you shared, like UAE jurisdictions. I would say that the landscape of Cyprus, these jurisdictions must be jealous of our beauty. So if we combine this with the high-quality real estate and high-quality services in real estate, I think we have nothing to lose but benefit from. I would like also to welcome Konstantinos. Konstantinos Savidis recently assumed the role of the Chief Investment Officer of BBF, a recognized leader in residential and commercial development with pioneer projects like Eden Rock, Sky Tower, and Marco Polo, and can say many more. Konstantinos, with his 15-plus year of advisory services in the real estate and hospitality and leisure sectors, he's here to unpack how innovation and policy are transforming our market. Welcome, Konstantinos.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone, and it's really good to be here again. Just to put some context, like the previous panelists, as an introduction, I'll move into the agenda. The main theme is about transformation and why are we keep referring to transformation. And it's indeed a very interesting time for the Cyprus market. So just to put some data as context, and then I will try to elaborate on that. This, building on what Pantelis said earlier, we used to sell houses to pensioners. Pavlos said about lifestyle arbitrage, etc. Up until not many years ago, real estate was considered a core industry, that is the product. We're selling good real estate, we're selling the location, we're selling an experience as described earlier by Simos, etc. So it was always at the forefront as a core industry, as the product. In the last years, it transitioned to the service and the caterer of this new economic model and the new economic reality of the island. We're basically a social infrastructure, an infrastructure to cater and support the growth and the real trajectory of the economic model that we envisage as a country. And this is the time where the whole supply chain, the whole industry, the key stakeholders are constantly in a mode of reinventing themselves, are constantly in a mode of collaborating as one force, together with policymakers, with good data, to make the reality of the Cyprus Vision 2035 true. Cyprus Vision 2035 is about making Cyprus the best place to live, work, and do business. Real estate is a social barrier or an enabler. And this is what's happening. As a consequence of that, certain events happened in the course of the recent history, which allowed us to indulge in demographic shifts and having to very quickly adapt to this. And I think this is a work in progress. But just to put it in context, since the peak investment program years like 2018 and 2019, all of us in a similar setting here, a lot of the focus would be on a program which is more attracting investors based on certain incentives and not really lifestyle or living or like a service to a certain other need that has to do with really moving in. And at that stage, the market went through a period where it reached, we have Pavlos, who's the data guru here, but it reached a point of 4.5 billion, or around that space. Now the market for the last 3 years is been bigger by 1 billion every year. Bigger by 1 billion every year. After that program was abolished, after all of these incentives, and this is basically the beginning of the journey of the realization of the country to this, to the new economic reality. So real estate as an industry is moving away from the introverted mode and becoming more systemic in the way that we operate. Real estate is not a key industry in the Vision 2035, but is the key enabler to support the growth. So that is why today we are selling thousands more houses compared to a few years ago. And that is why sales are still higher than what we permit today, indicating that we still are not coping with the levels of reality that can happen today. And this created a lot of social infrastructure shocks, many issues, a lot of collaboration with policymakers to find solutions, and it's still a work in progress. When I remember a very similar setting in 2023, it was 1 year, 2022 was 1 year after COVID, where we saw the first big increase in transaction values across the island. And then we saw there was a very important milestone, 23, to stabilize to that level, not go like, a crypto curve. And then it stabilized. It was like, what, a year of consolidation. And yet, 1 year later, we have solidifying levels of demand. And then this demand now is more diverse, is a demand that is more driven by creating product that is customized to the needs of people that will live, move in, and be part of communities. So I just wanted to give this as an intro of what my perspective of transformation is about the industry.
Thank you, Konstantinos Mou. I think that it's remarkable the stability that the real estate market has. I don't know, maybe Pavlos can correct me if I have the numbers here. In 2024, we were recorded the transaction values 5.71 billion. Okay, let's move as we could discuss for hours, but the time is running. So, Mr. Leptos, what's the most exciting thing you are working on right now that reflects where the Cyprus market is heading?
We're preparing to launch a tower of the Blue Marine project, the last remaining tower of the Blue Marine project, to be a branded residential project. I think is a game changer, because this brand is not a tourist brand. That usually hotel brands, they impose restrictions as to what you can do with your property, whereas fashion lifestyle brands, they don't. And This will be announced in the next 2 months and offered for sale. So watch the Blue Marine.
Thank you. Thank you so much. That's fantastic. Pavlos?
Look, for us, it's, so we built all the profiles of each and every property across the country, and Greece and Romania, starting from what's underground, earthquake zones, moving up. We've got the transactions on the one side cleansed, going from back to 16 onwards. We are integrated with Bazaragi. We have the Rios and the foreclosures. So that side is done. What we are doing now, which is I started talking to hopefully some persons here. We are now integrating CRMs to our platform. So the moment you have a request, it links directly to the platform to then start feeding your clients or the agent with leads. This is step one. The second thing that we rolled out in Greece and we're bringing to Cyprus in the next couple of months are auto-generated valuation reports. So not just the number, the actual report comes out. So we have deployed that already to one of the major institutions in Greece, Qualcomm actually, in their JV with National Bank of Greece, and we're in discussions to do the same here. But the third thing, which we're launching on Monday, is we're making available all of our data, BI tools and insights to agents and developers to use at the front end to gain leads. So you can take auto-generated valuation reports, you can take BI tools, you can take heat maps, whatever you want, and you can make them part of your website so that you can actually showcase to your clients what's there. So what we are seeing is we've moved from 4.5 years in, we've moved from building the infrastructure and the decision-making tools for the agents, the investors, and the valuers, to now integrating their data with ours, generating the valuation reports and marketability reports and whatever else, feasibility studies is coming next, and then using the same data to get the leads in, and that will create the loop. And as I said, all of this is happening literally on Monday, so in 3 days we go live.
I wish you good luck. I'm sure that this is going to go very well. I wanted to say that it's remarkable also that we see you in Greece, because we understand that the data does not have the same quality like in Cyprus, and this is very important.
Thank you for that. I will actually steal, I know it's not my turn, but being me, I think it's important because I was on not as an impressive panel on Monday in Greece, and it was a similar discussion of how do we see things changing, moving, transforming. And actually what's happening in Greece, so Greece has taken the most money as a percentage of GDP from the RRF, the Resilience and Recovery Fund. So what you have is actually, we think about it 3 prongs. You have the tech is there, right? So today I asked ChatGPT to speak in Greek. There are not many Cypriots here, αλλά είπα του να πει, γιατί για να κάνουμε ένα τσατιστό με παφίτικη προφορά και να την περιπέξει. So we started laughing in the morning. So, ChatGPT speaks every language, it's amazing. So the tech, the AI is there. You need to train it, obviously, but it's there.
Was it a laugh chatisto or not?
It ridiculed her. She found it funny. So for a grumpy Romanian, it actually worked pretty well for a Friday morning. So step 1, the tech is there. In Greece, because of the money that they are having coming in, the government is taking leaps forward in, the land registry now that is being created, that progressively they're opening up. It's far ahead than we have. Far ahead than what we have. They won an award. It was announced in November from Microsoft about how they are applying AI to analyze productivity and stuff like that. And I don't know how many of you saw on Tuesday they had arrests made within the land registry for dodgy doing stuff. Arrests in Cyprus are non-existent. This is the second. So the government is there. And then what we have in Greece is that the professionals actually have fallen behind. I think here is different. The professionals are ahead, the tech is there, and the government has fallen behind. And I think that, compared to Singapore or Dubai or whatever, that's their strength. The government is there and strong. Our government has fallen behind, and this is the thing that we need to focus on, to bring the institutions forward, because I think they are sitting on their rollers collecting on the taxes right now. And it's like, guys, there are things to do here if we're going to remain competitive as we were before.
Thank you.
Can I add something on that? Because you mentioned the resilience and recovery fund, I don't know if you have the data, but we haven't been very effective in using these funds here in Cyprus. And one of the reasons, since we talk about stakeholders, is that in Greece, a bank is allowed to use that as part of a product to gear up businesses, ventures, and so the relationship of, it's not just the government, but the banking system and how the banking system is supporting new ventures or industries. I can talk for hours about the relationship with the real estate industry. Is critical. So, sometimes it's not just about the businesses having access and knowledge to this. It's about what are the key mediators or the key players here. And banks are enablers in Greece because of that, exactly, and not in Cyprus.
Konstantinos, I think that's right. I agree with both of you. We are all in the market, the real estate market, and we are struggling with the lack of transparency data. And at the same time, we have difficulties bringing our clients here, opening accounts. So I couldn't agree more. Simos, do you have something to add? Can we have your info about what Pafilia is doing next that transforming the market?
Yes, I would like to add on that, but I'm pushing myself not to speak, but I can't. I was not going to mention anything about the banking sector here in Cyprus, but Cyprus exhibits something that is very unique in the real estate world. We are probably the #1 country in real estate that most, if not the overwhelming majority of real estate investments are made with own funds. And I don't know if I should cry or laugh or both, because if you look at the numbers of the total real estate transactions that are taking place in Cyprus, and it's in the billions, and you look at the amount of loans being given for the acquisition of properties, you're looking at 200 to 300 million euro. That's taking out the restructuring. So you see a huge disparity. Europeans, for example, buyers that are accustomed not to use their own money, but to get loans for purchasing property or doing investments, are missing from Cyprus. They are starting slowly to come back. So if we are at these levels of real estate transactions with the almost non-existent banking sector to support, in the good sense, not to create a bubble, but to facilitate, to enable, to help transform the real estate market, you can see what the possibilities are. In other countries, 80%, if not more, Pavlos can shed some more light, are done with bank facilitation, not from own funds. In Cyprus is completely the opposite. And another thing I just wanted to mention, yes, I do agree with the comments of Pavlos and Konstantinos. In Cyprus, the real visionaries or the people who took the real estate market forward was not the government. It was down to the entrepreneurial spirit of various key business people throughout Cyprus. These are the people that went abroad, as Mr. Pantelis said, got their suitcase and they went abroad and they brought business to the island. In Greece, you see the opposite. You see the government pushing forward and the business people trying to follow. And if you compare the size of Cyprus and the size of Greece, you will not find developers in Greece of the size or professionalism that exist in Cyprus. And we are just a fraction of Greece. So I believe that it's a very important just point to make. Now, very briefly, we're very excited to launch a new phase in Lofos, in Minthis, our flagship development in Paphos. It's a development where we had more than 300 million euro of sales, and we're very excited now that all the facilities, the services have been finished. So we are expanding and creating more opportunities for a new type of clientele interested more in investment properties. And of course, our development in Limassol, NEO, which is going to be launched in the market hopefully before the end of the year, and it will include a tower for offices, a luxury branded hotel with hotel branded apartments, and of course an amazing plaza with retail and dining facilities. So this is our contribution into the development of the product availability here in Cyprus.
Thank you, Simos. Looking forward to it. We are running out of time, so I would like from you to give us one closing point, and maybe you could tell us in briefly, if you had to bet on one emerging trend that will define Cyprus real estate in 5 years from now, what would it be? Konstantinos, can we start from you at this point?
Yeah, sure. I think, generally speaking, we have to be very optimistic about Cyprus in general. We are outperforming Europe in economic growth, projected 3.6 to finalize at 2024. Most of our credit ratings are improving, moving into investment grade trajectory. We are in a good space, generally speaking. So there's optimism. There's no reason not to be optimistic. If I was to make a bet, I would focus on what is actually driving the new reality of Cyprus, which is demographics. So I would follow demographics. Following demographics, I would focus on the living sector. And just to put in a parallel to this, across the European institutional investment markets, living sectors absorb more than half of capital deployed by institutional funds, basically, so any institutional investor. And they are ranking as top sectors for investment appetite, largely because of the resilience during COVID and the aftermath. Demographics is an issue, is a parameter, not a Cypriot. It's a global. Okay, so I believe that's more resilient as a living sector, and then I would go down into the niches of that. If I was to choose one, it would be elderly housing. Elderly housing and assisted living. I think it's very neglected because you need to be more creative and more innovative, and it's more long term. Fact of the matter is that even locally or internationally, this is there's a clear demographic fact that is just materializing. In Cyprus, we have the lowest fertility rate in Europe and one amongst the highest life expectancy rates and the bigger houses. It's not a surprise that in a few years, 10, 20 years, our product will not be fit for these people, and there are no solutions in the market, and this is going to become a major social issue as well. By 2065, a third of our population will be over 70, so over 65, sorry. So basically, that's one. When you look at European data, this is exactly the same. Within the living sectors, number one institutional appetite for greenfield developments was in elderly housing and assisted living concepts. So that would be my bet.
Thank you, Konstantinos. Simos?
I agree with all the things that Konstantinos said, but I also see technology playing a very important role in the future of the Cyprus real estate. And sustainability, I believe, it's a non-negotiable trait of any future development that is going to be successful. And developments that are carbon neutral, I also believe, are going to play a very important role. If I were to bet, though, I would say that the future of Cyprus real estate focuses around creating community-style developments. communities where residents can share certain values, luxury living, conveniences, connectivity, cultural experiences, and I see a more focus on the quality of life and returning back to nature as well as part of the new definition of luxury. Just to keep it short.
Thank you. That's a great point. Pavlos, can we have your views?
Sure. First of all, obviously I like the fact that Konstantinos said data, and Simos said technology, which is sort of what I do. But I think the key thing here is that with more data and more transparency, with more data comes transparency. Transparency brings confidence, facilitates transactions, benchmarking, as Mr. Leptos has said. Plus, it's a matter of time. Already we are seeing some of the tech that is on show today here at the conference, where AI can facilitate agents to book appointments, can answer questions about the market and stuff like that. So I think that is going to become part of every real estate professional's way of doing business, both here and abroad. At the same time, exactly with real estate becoming more tech-enabled, if I can call that, we're going to see more connectivity, more real-time data being available to our phones and being analyzed. And with more investment funds coming into the market and acquiring real estate for investment purposes or build to rent that we had, there was the speech, the panel yesterday, you are going to see a lot more investment going through residential real estate in different manners that we're accustomed right now, which is buy the flat and put it on Airbnb. So I see this whole transformation, real estate is becoming more tech-enabled, throwing out more data, and it's opening up more opportunities. And this is where, again, I'm going to go back to the government. It's the government, let's say, we should rely on the government and be very firm as industry participants to the government of how this thing is going to happen. Because one concern that we have is that the market is to splinter and to end up with, we always had a two-tier market. We risk having a three-tier market of all-inclusive gated developments being one, then all the other non-locals or non-affluent locals, and then the locals who have fallen behind. And this is where the government needs and should step in to sort of try and normalize and facilitate movement across the board, or else what you end up having is a splintering of society. Sorry, I went all geopolitical now, but you have tensions arising at the social level, and that's what you don't want to happen.
Thank you, Pavlos. Mr. Leptos, can we have from your insight?
Although very difficult to foresee the future, I think the future of Cyprus is very much predetermined. We live in a place that for centuries people wanted to live here. We are strategically located. We've seen the development of different types of real estate. We have tax, we have the non-doms, we have the Airbnbs, we have the holiday homes, we have the work from homes. We can talk for hours about what we're witnessing in front of us. I think this will continue. I personally foresee that Limassol will grow west and Paphos will grow east. More or less, the two cities will be joined up in the next 10 years. Will be joined up where they can be joined up. I mean, all the communities that is in between the two cities, we will see big demand in these communities. I see a lot of talent coming to Cyprus, especially for the IT industry and other industries. I see a lot of business experience coming here, and this is something that we never had before, that people meet up in Cyprus in order to discuss about business. Usually we had to go to other centers and meet the people, and now they're all here. Finally, I want to talk about the gas that we didn't discuss. There is gas around Cyprus. We don't know how much. We don't know when it will be exploited. But effectively, gas will be another form of real estate boost here because it needs demand for real estate products, for storage, housing, infrastructure, offices, and so on. So I'm very positive about the market. We should behave as an industry responsibly. We need support from the banking system, which for the moment there is no support for new projects. There is support for the old projects. But it's very strange to talk to colleagues from overseas and they ask, what's your lending on this project? And you say it's own funding. And this is unheard of, let alone the buyers buying without finance, but the builders building without bank finance. So I think we have a lot of catching up to do as Cyprus, and I think this is the period of doing this catching up. Thank you very much.
Thank you for the powerful conversation and the brilliant insights. We could discuss for hours, ideally, but I think we ran out of time. I hope we connect next year and have more positive things to say and have a steady and real estate market booming during next year. So looking forward to see you all next year here. Thank you.